Welcome back everyone to the channel. It's been a little bit of a while since I did a video. Been wanting to do this one for a little bit of time, just haven't sort of got around to it. Bit of a quiet night, so I thought I'd duck out into the garage. What I'm going to talk to you about tonight is some socket sets. So what I've got here is a 1/4 inch and a 3/8 inch set of sockets. Now these are the ToolPro models from Supercheap Auto. I've had these for a few years now. They get used a fair bit. I keep one set in my car, and I keep sort of one set here in the garage for just for general duties. Normally I keep the 1/4 inch set just around here in the garage for little nuts and bolts, and the 3/8 in the car, for basically in case of an emergency. It's my spare set. So I jumped online. I had a quick look just now to see if Supercheap is still selling them. And the good news is they are. They're selling this set, which is the 3/8, and I think they've got them online for $100, but you just wait for a sale and you probably get them for 20% off. They had a similar to what I've got here in the 1/4 inch set. They're only about $10 cheaper, so it did have a couple of extra things in it, the new ones, so I don't know if you can get this exact same model. But what I'll do is I'll bring you in close and I'll sort of talk before I open it up. Obviously they come with a steel container with latches. Pretty heavy duty by the look of it. I've skidded these things around the workshop or in the garage here on the floor, on the concrete and so on. They haven't broken. Even the plastic inside hasn't broken yet, which I was a little bit surprised about. I had a set of the SCA in the 1/2 inch, and plastic all went, cracked and broke, and then they just rattle around now loose in the container. But these things have actually held up pretty well, so I've actually been quite pleasantly surprised. Now my understanding is the ToolPros, these have a lifetime warranty, so if anything breaks on them, obviously you can just take it back and get a swap over set. So far I haven't stripped any teeth, I haven't had any problems with them, and I've sort of swung off them a fair bit. I've also used them in my impact driver without any problems at all. So yeah, it comes, obviously this one, the bigger one's got a slightly, it's got a little rubber handle. I don't think I've ever actually used that. Just pick it up and hang on to it. But from an overall point of view, I quite like them. I think, for the money, compared to, the KINGCHROMEs and the other ones that are getting out and about there, pretty hard to beat just for your average person working in the garage that needs them for odds and ends. So yeah, bring in a bit of a closer look. Alright, so unboxing. Here we go. So this is the 3/8 inch set. Obviously it comes with ratchet, an extender bar, the most important thing that you can get in your toolbox, the universal joint or the elbow. Can't rate these highly enough for just general day-to-day jobs. A little extension bar, 75mm, and then the adapters that allows you to move it around to either up to a 1/2 inch socket set or down to a 1/4 inch, and you've got your spark plug sockets here. Now from a sizing wise, it goes from an 8mm all the way up to a 19, and then a 13th 16th down to a 1/4 inch. Now the steel, it's got CRV ToolPro engraved on there. Now as I mentioned, I believe these have a lifetime warranty on them. The quality, the steel and everything else looks phenomenal. It is, obviously super shiny. Even though they get a few scratches on them, it's actually held up really well. Now all of these sockets have got the little indent there, so that will hold the socket on and not let it actually come off unless you press the button. Forward, reverse. Obviously some sort of self-servicing you can do in here as well if you want. It's got some Torx heads, screws, and overall I think for a general home gamer, and like I said, this plastic is, even though it's fairly cheap sort of looking plastic, it's bounced around the back of my car for nearly 2 years, hasn't cracked or anything, so I think it's doing pretty good job overall. For a home gamer, I don't really think there's a better socket set out there for sort of $80 that you will probably never have to replace in your entire life. So that's the 3/8, and I'll quickly jump in and have a look at the 1/4 inch. Alright, so 1/4 inch. Very similar, exact same layout, same plastic. Obviously you've got the 1/4 inch little ratchet, a long extender, and then a little breaker bar. I honestly don't know what you would need a breaker bar for a 1/4-inch socket, but they give you one. And then a little extension bar. Now, sizing wise, goes from a 1/2 inch down to a 3/16, and then from a 4mm up to a 14. So, you know, for all your sort of what's it called, chainsaws, mowers, and so on, I think a 14mm would cover it from a sizing wise. This just lives on my workbench, as I mentioned, and I also bought a little elbow for this guy as well. So if you're doing flat pack and whatnot, putting things together, worth its weight in gold, that being able to use that and attach that and put that onto your drills as well. Overall, really like you know, these. The same plastic's held up well, no cracks, no issues. I think, you know, it's built solidly, it's built to last. Interestingly enough, I wasn't going to even talk about it, but it's here on my bench. KINGCHROME TORX bit set. Now, I think I paid $20 for this. I needed the Torx to get a bit of a problem screw out, and I had some of these cheap little bits, and they were just rounding off and everything. So I went down and paid the money for pretty much the best one that they had there. I believe this is, it's got it on there, it's got S2 type tool steel. Now, these bits are awesome. I've used them, I've banged on them with a hammer to basically reforce them into holes that have been burred over. Managed to get it out every single time. So I can't rate these bits highly enough, but the little socket adapter that it comes with, it had a little ball detent, a ball in there with a bit of steel, spring steel, to hold you know, the little ball in to stop these from falling out. That just took off into the ether at some stage. Never seen it again. So now when you put these in, they can fall out quite easily. So you just sort of got to be a bit mindful when you're using them. So I was actually a little bit disappointed, because I've always heard, you know, and you know, KINGCHROME have always been highly rated from a tool bit perspective, and that let go with basically no use at all. So all three of these things normally do any of my getting screws out and or Torx out and undoing nuts and bolts. And it comes in a nice, this one comes in a nice little metal case. So, you know, for probably $150 odd, $160 all on sale, you can get yourself all of that, and you'll never need another tool in the workshop ever again. Anyway, so I hope you like the review. Like I said, can't rate them highly enough. Super cheap, ToolPro. Once again, paid for all of them with all my own money, and I think they'll last me a long time. I'll be able to give them to my boys when they get a bit older, I think. So, hope you've enjoyed it. Catch me on the next video. Once again, be really appreciative if you could subscribe, throw a comment in, let us know what you think, if you've had similar success, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching Aussie Dad Life.